All the work. I mean, it feels amazing. All the work my teammates put in, all the work, all the preparation from the coaches, battling through all the adversity and getting something from it. It feels amazing. So we're just gonna push for the next game. I mean, I wouldn't be here without God, so I attribute it all to Him.
Tie game against Honduras, running back to mark. What is the feeling to score that goal? What is the next round for Jamaica?
It's definitely a tough shift, but I mean, looking around, seeing my teammates dying on the pitch really just gave me the extra push I needed. And honestly, it's all thanks to my team. And so we're just looking forward to the next round. We're not going to get hung over on this. We have 2 more games against 2 very good teams. So we're just going to keep pushing.
We're going to expect Jamaica for the next match.
Yeah. I think we're just going to come out here with the same intensity. I think we shook off all the rush, shook off all the nerves. And now that we've getting going, hopefully we can build on this momentum and just keep pushing.
Good morning, man. Blessings to each and everyone. Greetings, greetings to everybody. People are much happy this morning. I'm so happy. I'm so elated. It's an amazing day watching the young Reggae Boyz team last night beating Honduras, a late dagger by Brandon Bent in stoppage time. Yeah, late dagger in the Honduran face. I'm so happy. Look, I tell you why, I'm so much happy of the team of winning their first game in this championship. It's very important going into a tournament game where you go to get into, a round robin of get into the group stage and then go to the knockout round. The first win is very important. That will set the tournament alight for you. That's one. And the second, which is the most important, last under 20 CONCACAF Championship, the boys would have probably in the group of, I think, Cuba, Costa Rica, and the US, and we did not even record a point on the board. Yeah, we did not even record a point. And if I remember serving right, we conceded around 15 goals and did not score one. You get what I'm saying? So I'm much happy for this group of players where they got the win. They fight, so much adversities around the game where the Honduran team threatened from minute 1 until minute 90, where they look a bit more the composed team. Look, they dominate the stats chart. They have more ball possession, they have more shots on target, they have more shots on goal. Look, they dominate the whole stat chart, but who came out with the most important thing was the young Reggae Boy team. And I can say that, look, watching the game in the first 10 minutes, I was like, this team can play football, but they look a bit nervous. They look as if like they're starstruck. They're looking at what this Honduran team really can bring to the party. And look, and I can say this, this is a very good Honduran team. Not at the quality that they were probably used to, in the past, but with what they have at this given moment, they didn't make it to the last World Cup. There's so much stuff happened. And I can say that they're going all in for qualifying for this upcoming World Cup in Morocco. And I can say again, man, the Reggae Boyz, they did a fantastic job. Nolan, with the first goal of the game, and also Brandon Bent with the late dagger in the last minute of the game as well, where he scored in that game. And I can say, I think they created the first, not clear cut, but they created the 2 big moments. I think it was the young fella up front, the big guy playing in the number 9 position. I think his name is Flores, playing for Olympia. This is another player as well where, integrating from the youth under 17 team coming up into the under 20 team as well, playing professionally in Honduras at this moment for Olympia. So he's getting senior games at the professional level in his homeland. So it's not an easy Honduran team. It's not an easy Honduran team. They have players playing at very good level, just like the Reggae Boyz players as well, playing at a very good level. And I was looking at this Honduran team, especially playing against the Reggae Boy team in the first game. I was a bit worried in terms of not really confident that the team couldn't get a positive result versus Honduras. But you're looking at where the setup of the Honduran national team, the preparation, they have gone through a deep amount of games getting into this tournament. The players are very much together as well, and it's a very good youth program. But if you look at the Reggae Boyz team as well, very good young players playing at a very decent level. Some players would have exposed to senior level football in England, senior level football in the Americas region as well. And look, under 20, it is a professional setup. It is a professional setup because a lot of these players would have come into the tournament of playing professionally in their respective country. But first half, the second half, I think, the Honduran team, I think what they really lack, I think they lack that slightly bit of a punch in the final third. But you have to give Rudolph Astin a lot of credit. Rudolph Astin know how to set up a team with the low block, defending deep, and then play on the counter, hit team in the transition, break up play. I think the midfield was so compact, and the defensive line didn't really look disorganized or out of shape or get caught out of the game on many occasions. Yes, time and time in the game where the Honduran team would have get behind, but again, Joshua King, again, he have a few little spills in the game, but he was very much impressive, in between the sticks as well. And I can say, look, the likes of Sean Layton, the likes of Scott, didn't really get into the game on too much occasion where, it could threaten the team behind. But one thing I can say, with this Reggae Boy team, every time when we try to get on the ball and play the football and run at them, they look vulnerable at the back, and we look like a very good team going forward. Look, Honduran, I think they have a better squad. I think they have a better team, more organized, togetherness and understanding, each other and stuff like that. But I think when you look at individual prospect, I think the Reggae Boyz team, on the day, they look more of a more individual players, threatening forward at time and time. When, one or two players, getting forward and beating one or two Honduran player, we are getting behind of them. We are doing the hits and bits in the final third. But again, we didn't show much of that side of our game in that game last night. But the Honduran team, they threaten, they pass it square, they pass it back, time, they try to penetrate us, down the middle. Everywhere was really black, and I was like, how did we really concede that goal when we were very much of a sure team in that first half? But it's the nature of football. This is what happened. The one moment that you lapse in the game and they penetrate and get behind in the midfield, and it was a very good pass. Look, it was, I don't remember if it was the player that named Salazar, get that ball in behind that through pass through the Reggae Boyz backline, and they got the goal. And I was like, okay, how can we manage the game from here? Because when we scored, I'm gonna see what minute again, Nolan's would have scored in the 22nd minute of that game, and they would have equalized with 15 minutes left on the day. And I was like, okay, they got the goal. What can we do next? Will the Reggae Boyz go after this Honduran team and try to get a winner, or they will still stay compact and they will just gradually grind out the game and get a point? Because look, a point versus an Honduran team who is much of a strong U20 team, would have qualified for 9 World Cup in the past. And if you look at all these teams in this group, with the likes of Panama, Canada, and Honduras, all these teams would have qualified for the World Cup on multiple occasions in the last 10 years as well. So, and the Reggae Boyz, the last time we qualified for a U20, and the last time we qualified for a U20 World Cup, it was all the way back in 2001, I think, in Argentina. So, we are coming up against very good youth programs, very good coaches as well. The Canadian team beat the Panamanian team. Panama is our next rival on Wednesday, and then I think it will be Canada on Saturday. That will be the 1st of August as well. So we are very much in the driver's seat. The top 2 teams, will qualify out of each group, and then the 2 best third place, and that will gradually get to a quarterfinals, and all the winners of the quarterfinals will get themselves a spot in the FIFA World Cup coming up as well. So we are in the driver's seat at this moment to qualify out of the group first, because that is the most important thing, to qualify out of the group first, and then we can get to the next stage. But I think when I look at the coach, I think Austin, he made some pretty much impressive substitutions as well, where you're looking at the Leighton wasn't really good on the day. I was even surprised how Kimani Scott spent so much time out there. Yes, he had some very good decent moments in around the game of passing the ball around, but again is working off the ball, sprinting around, closing down the areas, closing down players. He's a player that he's a live wire player, he's an energetic player. So sometimes even though having a slight quiet game, not usually after the game that he would have have in regular times, especially playing for his club team in the Jamaican Premier League, but it was a very decent game. But Nolan got the goal, and then Bent got the last dagger, the last punch of the game, where the Reggae Boyz team beating Honduran team. And I can say this as well, where the last time we would have won a game in the final round versus a Central American team at this level would have been over a decade ago, and that was against the Honduran national team in 2014 as well. So this is not a usual position for the Reggae Boyz. So that tells you that, look, we have quite a few players playing professionally, and this is what kind of lack at this level for the Reggae Boyz to go to that next level, where we have players can know how to fight, know how to grind, know to play with a lot of grit, know to come through a lot of adversity, and just playing big man football to help through these lateral stages in our game as well. We never really have a lot of this in this sport, on many different occasions. We'd have a bunch of Monaco players playing at this level, playing against other teams that feeling players on the pitch at the time who are playing at a professional level. I would have understand what it is to be a professional. So we have a very good bunch of players. All we need to do, take it one step at a time, and then Panama coming on Wednesday. If we can get a positive result, then more likely we'll have at least that foot looking in for the quarterfinals coming up as well next week. You understand? So much love and respect. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Peace out. Salute.